This is Nutiatoria, traditional Catholic news and commentary from the Old Roman Apostolate.
Carissimi, beloved in Christ, Laudetur Jesus Christus. As we enter the solemn days of Passiontide, our eyes are drawn to the veiled crucifixes and shrouded images in our chapels. This visual silence of the sacred is no mere aesthetic, it is a profound catechesis. The Church, with maternal wisdom, withdraws the visible signs of Christ's glory, that we might search more deeply for his presence in suffering, contradiction, and apparent defeat. The motto we meditate on this Passiontide is taken from this sacred logic. Velata Gloria, veiled glory. It is a motto that must shape not only our interior disposition during these 2 weeks, but also our entire Christian discipleship, most especially in the present darkness. The visible church is undergoing a painful humiliation. The faithful cannot help but observe with dismay the continued inconsistencies in the exercise of justice and governance in the Holy See. Sweeping canonical actions against traditional communities, while open dissent, heresy and scandal flourish unchecked. The Vatican's silence in the face of open Eucharistic sacrilege by high-profile political Catholic leaders, or the scandalous involvement of bishops in political manipulations, disorients many souls. As shepherds, we must not fail to acknowledge this pain. But the Church is being purified, not in abstract spiritual generalities, but in very real ecclesial humiliations. Here too, Velata Gloria is at work. We must see this not as abandonment, but as Christ permitting the pruning of his vine, as in Gethsemane. Don Granger, writing of Passiontide, reminds us that the Church enters with her spouse into the garden of agony. She must suffer in him and with him, even in the face of betrayal from within. In the secular realm, we see ever more clearly the face of a culture that has lost its grasp on reason and nature. The case of the British toddler reportedly suspended from nursery for transphobia is only the most absurd sign of a wider pathology, an ideology that has turned against reality and now punishes even the innocence of children when it does not conform. We are seeing, too, the failure of state institutions to protect the young from real predators, most grievously in the case of Stephen Ireland, where convicted sex offenders were allowed school access in the name of inclusive education. When children are exposed to perversion in the name of tolerance, but punished for innocence in the name of anti-discrimination, the culture has reached a moral inversion crying out to heaven. The domestic sphere, once considered sacred and private, is now too under suspicion. Parents are increasingly vilified for teaching the natural law in their own homes. Labour-led councils in the UK have already signalled their willingness to limit religious education or family autonomy when it conflicts with state ideology. Christian households may soon be challenged not only in the public square, but in their own living rooms. In all this, the Christian must not despair. The veiling of glory is not his absence. Now is the time for clarity, not compromise, for recollection, not reaction. The cross is our lens. The Church was born not in imperial palaces, but in catacombs. The faith was handed on not through mass media, but in whispered catechesis and family fidelity. We may be entering such times again. Let us then do what the Church has always done when the glory of Christ is hidden. Sanctify the home. Make the home a visible sanctuary. Pray daily as a family. Use visible signs, icons, crucifixes, the rosary, sacred images, to surround your children with truth. If society shames the home, let us glorify it. Strengthen the will. Teach your children not merely what to believe, but why it is good to suffer for the truth. Christ is our model, not triumphant by force, but faithful unto death. Study and speak. Equip yourself to speak clearly and courageously in the public forum and in your personal circles. Learn the perennial teaching of the Church and communicate it with charity and clarity. Suffer well. Offer up your trials for the purification of the Church and the conversion of the world. Christ's glory was veiled on Good Friday, but his obedience changed history. The veils will be lifted, perhaps not by political victory, nor by hierarchical reform, nor even by cultural awakening, but they will be lifted in the soul of every Christian who perseveres in fidelity and faith. The unveiled cross on Good Friday is not only a liturgical gesture, it is the Church's pledge that the hidden glory will one day be revealed. Until that day, dear faithful, do not be afraid. The darkness is not final. The silence is not abandonment. The cross is not defeat. Velata gloria. The glory is veiled, but only momentarily.